Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I built criteria. I knew exactly what I was looking for, and then I asked really good questions, which I developed over time. Who here would love a little gem? Know what a powerful question is? Who here wants to hear a really powerful question? I got on the phone with this realtor, and I saw this huge sign. I'm driving along, I see a sign. Now what do?
Call it.
I call it. When?
Now.
Now! I was doing some training, and I had trained them on this, and now it's 3 months later, and she's in additional training with me, and she raised her hand, and she heard my program, and she's like, yeah, and I've got all these leads, I never have time to call them. I was like, what are you talking about? I forgot to tell her now, like I just assumed that. You know, when I say call, I don't mean like next month. So she was writing down all the information and then looking to find time later on in her day, in her week, in her month to make all the phone calls. I was like, that's not what I said. Did I ever tell you to pull out a piece of paper and start taking notes? No, call. So I called. I called and I saw this huge sign. Now the sign fit all my criteria. This was a huge sign from a realtor in front of a multi-unit property. That's what I was looking for as part of my criteria. And I was like all excited. I called the number, and it turns out it wasn't the whole property. It was just one condo in the building. So that didn't fit my criteria, did it? So I went, next. So when you get to that point, most people end up going, well, thank you very much, click, because they're so upset and so disappointed that they just run for the hills. I didn't. And I asked what I call a powerful question. Now this is really complicated. Listen up. I said, what else do you have? Wasn't that difficult? What else do you have is a powerful question, and it ended up giving me my very first property. I asked her what else did she have, and she told me what she had, which happened to be a property that she was putting on the MLS right at that moment. It was right in front of her. That's why she was able to tell me, what else do you have? She was able to tell me the property. And what she told me was about this property. She said, 137, 139 Main Street. Now I was looking at mostly residential properties, however my criteria was a multi-unit property that was mostly rented, so it was giving me cash flow. That's what I was looking for. Did I care whether it was commercial or residential? No. It fit my criteria. I hadn't clarified. 139, now another note, side note, whenever someone says Main Street is available, run. Go take a look. Jump on it. Main Street, anything on a main street is usually a good property. So 137, 139 Main Street, and the listing was, as you can see down here, I actually found this piece of paper later. Realized at the time I wasn't training to be a speaker. I didn't know I was doing these presentations. I was just doing deals. So I found this later and thought it was amazing. $769,000 was the listing price. Here's what happened next. I went forward and, well, before I get there, we had the listing. Now I went and I saw the sign. I asked her what else she had. She told me this property. Now this was 10:30 in the morning. 10:30 in the morning, I think it was a Tuesday or Wednesday morning. 10:30 in the morning, and by noon I was doing a walkthrough of this property. I was stoked. Did a walkthrough. Now did I know what I was looking at? Had no frigging clue. Neither do you. How many of you do real estate dealings outside of your territory? Awesome. Does it matter whether it's right next door to you or whether it's across the country? No, doesn't matter. Because most of you don't know what you're looking at anyway. You look at this building, I've asked, anybody here experienced contractor in the room? Experienced contractor? I've had experienced contractors and I'll say, well, tell me what's wrong with this building. Go ahead. Well, I'd have to do testing here, testing there. I'd actually have to break this wall down to actually see for sure. Now, is that what they're going to do with the building they're buying? No. You never know what's in the walls, so what are you looking at when you go and take a look to see if it's freshly painted? You can hire a high school kid to go do that. Very simple. So I did the walkthrough. I didn't know any better. I did the walkthrough, and 12 o'clock noon, did the walkthrough. By 8:30 the next morning, I had an offer in. Is that massive action?
Yes.
Now, here's the caveat to that. I had no idea what I was doing. The realtor said to me, well, she gave me this nice little sheet here. And she handed it to me and said, if you're interested, send over an LOI so that we can proceed. I had no idea what an LOI was. None. Understand, I was a rookie on fire. I had no idea. I went home and I had bought one system at that point that I was listening to the DVDs. I bought one system and I went home and looked page by page, LOI, 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 LOI. Finally I found it. Letter of intent. I didn't know what that meant. They had a sample of a letter of intent. Now in those days there wasn't like just digitally given to me. I actually had to retype it. It was painful. So I retyped this letter of intent, put in my offer, and faxed it over to this guy at 8:30 the next morning. And I got the building through some negotiations, and well, here's the deed. This is 137, 139 Main Street, and I bought it in T3 Holdings LLC. I bought it in my LLC. Now, why would I call it T3 Holdings? Anybody know?
For every 3 bills, you put it in that holding.
3 twins.
Right!
Twins.
Twins 3! This is the future for my kids, understand? This is my whole focus. So I named my first corporation, my first LLC, T3. It made sense to me. And I bought it for $372,350. Who here remembers the original listing price? Was that a good negotiation?
Yeah.
You believe you might be able to learn something about negotiations from me. There's a lot of techniques I will not go into tonight, won't have time. However, I've been in sales and marketing my whole life. When I got in the real estate game, it took me a little bit to realize this is just the same thing I've been doing, only bigger numbers. I get this. And so I teach negotiation strategies, dealing with people on how to communicate with people so that you can get the best deals. So here are the results. 765,000 was list price, purchase price, 372,000. I held it for 2.5 years. This was meant to be a buy and hold, only then I realized I could do pretty well by cashing out. So I sold it. I spent about $2,500 in repairs. Guess what? I had one major repair. It was a flat roof, a rubber roof. I had to patch it. This was tough. So $2,500 in patching a rubber roof. Cash flow was about $2,000 a month. I sold it for $685,000. Who here thinks that's a pretty good deal? Profit about $312,650. This was my very first piece of property. You'd think I was hooked. Real estate can make you a lot of money. Now, did I know this by having all my due diligence, all my ducks in a row, and everything great? Did I know everything about real estate at the time? No. I got into massive action. If there's anything I teach you tonight, I want you to get, everyone stand up just for a minute. Stand up just for a minute. Did everyone stand up? You must get off your ass to accomplish anything. Give yourself a round of applause. Okay. I got off my ass and I accomplished. One of my students, Chris and Lynn Phillips, they came to me and most of my students had multiple streams of income. It's what I believe in. They have multiple businesses, and whether they start that way or not, they come to me for real estate investing. I help them with real estate investing, then we start talking about, well, what else do you do? And we begin talking about where else we can build wealth, where else we can build prosperity, where we can build residual income. And Chris and Lynn Phillips, they bought 3 houses in the first 3 months of working with me. 2 they then sold. They bought them to be flips. They were buy and rehabs. And in addition to that, he had a business that he was ready to squash, to throw to the side, that he actually grew 300% and added 5 salespeople to it. He had none when he first started with me. 5 salespeople to the business and developed that business astronomically. Who here thinks that's pretty good? We'll talk about that. Step 2, know what you want. So step 1, massive action. Step 2, know what you want. Now most of you have said, what do you want? What do you want in life? Who here knows what they want? What do you want? Fulfilling life. What's that mean?
I want that Powerball that's just hit in Florida. That's what I
You want the Powerball. Be careful what you wish for. Most people that win the lottery are bankrupt within 3 to 5 years. Be careful what you wish for.
Won the whole thing.
Pay attention. What do you want?
Health, wealth, and happiness.
Health, wealth, and happiness. And peace on earth. What does that mean? When you wake up in the morning and go, I want peace on earth, goodwill to men, I want health, happiness. What are you motivated to do because of that? Not sure what to do. That'll be a longer discussion. When the universe asks you, what do you want, what do you say?
Well, you have to be specific.
So go ahead. Here's the challenge. Most people haven't thought about the details because then they say, well, that's a longer discussion. And then pieces will be brought to the table over an hour, 2-hour discussion. However, the universe doesn't wait for us, does it? When we talk to and guess what? The universe is not only the universe in this etherical type fashion, the universe is our subconscious as well. We're speaking to our subconscious, and our subconscious works when we are sleeping and gives us everything that we want. And so when we feed it the right information, it gives us back abundance. Know what you want. I created the Bullseye process. It's a bulletproof, systematic approach. Combines the education that you already have, the information that's already in your brain, with your yearning desire. You must have a yearning desire. You must get up in the morning craving what you want in life. And the only way you know to crave it, or you have that craving, is to know exactly what it is that you're getting up for. Now, Kelly and Kathy came to me, and several years ago they came to me and they were in a training that was a couple-day training. And well, on a personal note, he wrote this right after the training. He said, I especially want to thank Paul for his solution-based approach to our little dilemma regarding money. How many of you have a little dilemma regarding money? After going to Paul's website and seeing that he is an honest-to-God professional coach, I now know it was the correct decision to move forward and work with him. I'm truly honored to have been able to see his awesome talents firsthand. So, let me ask something. Good, touch me. Am I real? You're real. Are you sure? Have you been to my website? How do you know I'm with them? Well, Kelly was at this right in front of me at a 3-day boot camp. He was able to interact with me all weekend long. He had to go to my website to know I was real. How come you didn't? Different belief system. How many of you have a website? You do not. All the rest of you do not exist, according to Kelly. Now, that's a belief system of his that I must have a website to be real, isn't it? Does that make sense? It's his belief system. Well, we'd have to ask Kelly. He didn't specify. Yeah, he didn't specify. So you're really real. Here's the thing. Did Kelly know that, is this a limiting belief system or an empowering one for Kelly? I would say, how is it empowering?
His belief system that somebody needs a website.
Why is
acted on it. He simply acted on it.
What if I didn't have a website? He wouldn't have acted on it, would he? And working with me was helpful. So he would have not gotten that benefit because of his belief system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's a limiting belief. Did Kelly know he had a limiting belief? Right? No. He didn't understand it at all. And yet it could have held him back from doing business with me, couldn't it? Here's a question for you. How many of you have a limiting belief you're not even aware of that is keeping you from opportunity every single day? Does that make sense? You all do. It's one of the things I work with my students on. Your limiting beliefs about yourself. This is what you may be saying, or you may have heard other people say. I must work hard to make money. I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm not liked enough. I'm not outgoing enough. I'm not pretty enough. How about this one? I'm going to live forever. Is that a limiting belief?
Yes.
Yes,
That's a why.
because then you might put off, to do tomorrow.
I did.
Today.
This was my limiting belief. I put everything off till another day. I could write that book tomorrow, I could call that realtor tomorrow, I could place an offer tomorrow. Everything was tomorrow. I thought when I was in college and high school I was invincible and I was going to live forever. And so with that mindset, it created this perpetuality of procrastination. Does that make sense? I spent 15 minutes with a coach, 15 minutes with my mentor who shifted that for me. Began to teach me about time and about the importance of time, the importance of using it correctly, the importance of using it for your own power and your own good, as well as the good of the world, of your community, the universe. Utilizing time to the highest and best use. Gandhi, now, maybe somebody you want to pay attention to. Gandhi says, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. Your what?
Destiny.
What he's saying is, your words and your thoughts become your life. Everything that you think of, everything that you're saying internally, and everything that you're saying externally is the life around you. It's everything that you have in your existence right now is based on the communication that you've had with yourself up to this point. Now here's the good news. Can you change those words and those thoughts?
Yeah.
How long does it take you to change a word or a thought?
Instantly.
Instant. So you can change everything from this point forward, only everything that you have now is your responsibility, and it's because of what you've thought of up to this point. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Don't listen to me, listen to Gandhi. Your words and your thoughts are your destiny. It is your life, everything you've had. So when I say, what do you want? And you're saying, well, it's going to take a longer conversation. That's your destiny. It'll take much longer to get to where you want to be, because to say it is taking longer. Does that make sense? When you're succinct and to the point and know exactly what you want, you can hit the target instant. It's something that most of us haven't been trained on. Most of us haven't been taught how to express ourselves succinctly and precisely and to say, yes, I want. Repeat after me. Yes, I want.
Yes, I want.
It's okay to want. It's okay. So what you believe is true, what you believe is true. What you believe is true for you. Changing your beliefs will change your reality and transform your life forever. It's one of the things I did. I transformed my belief systems. I transformed what I thought internally. I created a whole new life with my darling wife, my soulmate, created everything from that point forward to be in abundance. We ended up with great opportunities. We were on Good Morning America, we were on Jane Pauley's show, we were in Parents Magazine. Just phenomenal opportunities started showing up when I started saying, yes, I want. Started getting clear with what it looked like and started taking advantage of the opportunities as they appeared. This was written about us. We've been written up over the years multiple times. This is in the local newspaper that then was picked up by the AP Press and said whatever happened to the Fink family, and it had a follow-up write-up. This was in 2010. Most interesting thing that the reporter said, now most reporters get things wrong all the time, so I don't take a lot of credence in what they write. However, this one got it right. She said the impression one comes away with is of a very energetic family who have chosen to be happy and successful in everything that they do. And they are. Guess what the key word in that phrase is?
Chosen.
Chosen. Everything I have in my life right now is because of intent. I decided this was the life I wanted. I decided this was how I was going to have it, how it was going to be structured. While you guys were all sitting in here, I was out on the balcony recording a video I'm going to broadcast later on tonight or tomorrow, talking about how I travel coast to coast. I'm traveling around the world now, And I get to see beautiful places like this every single day. By choice. I decided this was what I wanted. I'm not here by accident. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Most people go through life with blinders on. They go through life just haphazardly, and life shows up. I want you from this point forward to be on purpose, with intent. Decide what you want and do it for yourself. Step number 3, know your why. Your why is your motivation. Your why is what gets you up in the morning, your purpose for doing all that you're doing. Who here knows their why? What's your why?
My why is I've got 6 kids and a mother that I'm taking care of, and I need the opportunity to do so successfully.
Here's a question for you. Do you know other people that are taking care of their kids and their parents?
Yes.
So they're wealthy as well.
Of 7 that I know I would consider wealthy.
So, now you said that's your why. If that was a strong enough why, everyone who had kids to take care of and parents to take care of would be wealthy, wouldn't they? Does that make sense? So is it your why? You see, I believe there are 2 different whys. There's the why that we tell at cocktail parties. There's the why that we can tell at networking events. And then there's the real core why. Why you get up in the morning. Why it's important to you versus anybody else that has kids that never gets up out of their chair. Why is it important to you?
I've had a business for many years, and that business is not functional. My wife passed away 3 years ago. My business is no longer functional. I've got to do something different
Why?
because the business requires that I travel. You can't raise kids traveling.
I bring it.
Without money.
So why is that important? Why is it important for you to raise your kids?
Very important to me.
Does everyone who have kids, do they feel it's important to them?
A lot do and a lot don't.
Even the ones that do they all create abundance in your life? How come? There's more. And it's there, and I can feel it, and without spending time here, you know, I ask why another 5 times, we'll get to the core of it and you can start crying. Who here feels that? That's when you know you got your true why. It usually will bring you to tears. It's the core, it's the pain, it's the key component that differentiates you from your experience level, that moves you, that'll drive you through every obstacle, drive you through everything that comes up. Are we going to experience pain and anguish in our business and growing it? Are we going to experience in this transition, are we going to experience some challenges in our obstacles that prevent us from moving forward, that keep us from achieving? That's going to happen, isn't it? What's going to drive us through all that? Oh yeah, yada yada, peace on earth, goodwill of men? No! It's the motivation, it's what comes deep inside of us that drives us, that moves us. Why are you more motivated to do work for somebody else than work for yourself? There's a driving force that drives you, motivates you to respond to them rather than you can. Do you believe I am surviving in abundance?
Yes.
I don't work for anybody. You could survive in abundance without paying attention to their goals. We'll talk about that. Here's my why. My why is absolutely my kids, and there's multiple levels, and when you come train with me, we would like to have this conversation, spend over 3 days where you really get deep and understand how to motivate yourself and move you in every level and everything that you do. I'll talk about what this happens and where success brings you. I bring my kids all over the place. It's what I do. Vegas and Florida and Walt Disney World. We took, now, mind you, when I'm bringing people, sir, Didn't want-
No more.
I had to appear. Not everyone can do that. Give me a round of applause. Whatever you do, you gotta have fun. We take trips. Last year we had 2 trips to Disney World. 2 trips to Disney World. We spent 11 days each on each one of those trips. Who just the time off from work would be impossible for them in their life right now. Yeah, we need to create a whole new life. 2 trips to Disney World, 11 days each, and I brought 11 people with me, all on my dime. Who thinks that's pretty good?
Yeah.
Now, you notice that there may be more than 6 kids in this picture. It's because some of those additional 11 were the kids that we brought with us. My kids now have friends that want to be adopted by us, and they end up on trips with us all the time. I've got one of their friends, actually, Jenny. We were just hanging out last weekend, and she's been begging to go on the next trip to Disney with us, which is coming up in January. And she's on a campaign now to make sure she's on the next one. So
She knows what she wants.
Absolutely, I taught her. She's been through my training twice. Who here knows, who here sees how great it is when I'm able to not only give abundance to my kids, but also give abundance to my kids' friends? To give them life experiences that they never would have had any other way if it wasn't for the abundance I built in my life. That's lifestyle. That's greatness.
Paul,
Yes?
steps 2 and 3, know what you want, know your why. How do you differentiate?
Your what is your bullet points. Your what is, I want a Maserati, I want a trip to Paris, I want a big house with a marble floor. It's the bullet points. Your why is the motivation to get all your whats. Does that make sense? Your why is your motivation. What gets you up in the morning to go through the effort to get your whats? That's your why. Why do you get up in the morning? What's going to drive you? What's going to get you to deal with that pain in the ass realtor, to deal with that property that is just having you pull your hair out, to deal with credit challenges, to go through everything that it takes to build a business without a motivation? That's why these steps are so important. Most people bypass them. They think there's a whole lot of yah-yah. They
Maybe
think,
sometimes we think what's really important, really it's not, it's why.
yeah, the things are not important. I guarantee you, I've had things, I've lost things, the things are not important. The things come and go. The things are just the way that we measure, the way we keep score. They're not the important pieces. The important pieces are taking my kids on a private jet, giving them that experience, having them play in that arena, bringing them to Dominican Republic and having them cut down their own coconuts for lunch. Having to go on to, this was also in Dominican, we took, I'd like to play hard and work hard. Who here gets that? Yes, David. We took, had 15 ATVs and we took all around Dominican Republic, driving around for like 5 hours, all on my dime, took care of everybody. We had such a blast. Oh my gosh. Up in the hills of Dominican, down at the beach, jumped off the ATVs, went swimming for 45 minutes, jumped back on the ATVs, went into a cocoa farm, did a tour on the cocoa farm. It was racing down dirt roads. It was good times. Who here would like those type of times hanging out with me? You think you might be able to get a lot out of it? Yes. I guarantee you'll learn how to live life. And then you have your why to be able to drive you to get more. Number 4 is passion. Who here realizes I'm a little bit passionate about what I do? Absolutely. Find what you love. Realize that, is this work for me?
No.
This is as hard as it gets. This is my tough day. All right? This is it. Because I'm passionate, nothing's difficult, nothing's challenging. There's no toughness in my life. It's my passion. It's what I love to do every single day. My dream is to create an environment where I'm running masterminds and trainings every day. You guys just come fly into me. I'll be hanging out on the villa in Dominican. Is that okay? Would that be a good idea? It's my dream, because I love this. I love creating those ahas. What do you love? What's your passion? What's your motivation? I get to hang out with some really great people. Who here knows who this is?
Oh, that's wrong.
The books are right here. I gave you a clue. It's Robert Allen and his wife. This, we get to hang out. We were on vacation together. And one of his books, 1 Minute Millionaire, I encourage you all to get. Actually, I encourage you to get it on audio. It's a pretty big book. Get it on audio, listen to it. 1 Minute Millionaire. The 1 Minute Millionaire is 2 books in one. One side is a textbook telling you how to create success. The other side is a story, and it's a story about a woman who gets her children taken away. Her children get taken away, and she believes the children are dead to her unless she creates $1 million in 90 days. Do you believe that you could create $1 million in 90 days if it meant the life of your loved ones or your children? Yes? So now we've determined you know how to create $1 million. The only question is your motivation. You really don't care to make $1 million. Is that what you're telling me? That's what Robert Allen's book is all about. Did he?
Yeah.
Very cool. Step number 5, create a powerful vision. You want to create a team of people around you. You want a powerful vision. Why do you want a powerful vision? Well, how does that relate to creating a team? When you have a clear vision, you want to see it often. You're going to see it every single day. What's a vision? What's a vision?
A goal.
A goal is like one particular target that you aim for. A vision is a 360-degree moving picture of the life you're creating. The life in the future. Imagine it's 5 years from now. What's your life look like? Where are you living? What are you driving? Where are you vacationing? Who are you hanging out with? What do you get up and do every day? That's a clear vision of your life. You know all the smells, all the textures, all the touches. You have a clear vision. Now, you fill it with clarity, you fill it with vividness, you feel the emotions. You hold on to the image as long as you can, as often as you can. How does having a vision, and here's really key, and I want to connect this to your real estate game. How is having a vision connected to your real estate game and building your team? What do you do? How many of you new-time investors, right? How many of you have been investing less than a year? We had a few hands up before. Excellent. Now you go and talk to realtors. How many of those realtors are so excited? You walk in there, you say, I'm a brand new investor. You're going to help me. You're going to give me all your leads, and I'm going to like make abundance, and they all come running to you. They can't wait to help you out. Right? Or do they run the other way? Challenge. They hear that 1,200 times a day. They're tired of it. They're tired of the tire kickers. They don't want to have anything to do with it, and they run, right? You need, when you have a vision and you share the vision with people, they get it. How many of you have a job? Guess what? You're buying into someone else's vision rather than your own. Most people need a vision. They'll buy into somebody's. When they don't have one, they'll buy into somebody else's. Well, you've been living this life just on the wrong side of the equation. Use it for your advantage now. Create a vision, other people will buy into your vision and build your dream rather than building someone else's. Who here thinks that's pretty good? When I first got into real estate investing, I created my vision. My vision was I had 6 kids. What's the first thing you think of when you have kids?
Provide for the kids.
What? Provide for the kids. What are you looking to provide for them long term? One of the first things I started thinking about was education, college funds.
Exit strategy.
Exit strategy. Are you two married? Is he like this? Is he looking for the exit? Yes. So we were interested in college funds, right? Well, my vision was I buy a multifamily in the Northeast, which is similar to prices here, right? Buy a multifamily, I hold it for 15 years, I then can sell it my profit from that would be a college fund to send one kid to college. It's kind of what I was figuring. Does that make sense? Good strategy, right? Sound